live across America. Mike Horn and Paul Stern and What's Cooking on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Hey, welcome to the big What's Cooking program, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's the big weekend edition on CRN, and I'm Michael Horn. That's Paul Stern.
Well, hello, Michael Horn, an exciting weekend edition of What's Cooking Ahead.
Big Super Bowl weekend, everybody, and of course, we're right in the midst of it here. A lot of good stuff happening on today's show, getting you ready and getting you celebrating the Super Bowl. Who do we have on the show, Paul?
Mike, it doesn't get any better than this. Today we're going to be kind of learning about throwing the perfect Super Bowl shindig with a couple stellar guests, first of which might be Debbie Shawcross.
Debbie, what is her expertise?
We're going to look on into kind of putting together our Super Bowl party menu, kind of on that front, the food front.
And by the way, this is not just for Super Bowl. This could be for any get-together or any gathering. Am I correct on this one?
That would be correct as well. Some of these Super Bowl party tips could be used elsewhere. That certainly could be the case.
Who else on the show?
Oh, boy. Talk about an all-star in his own right. None other than, of course, what a front office executive with the San Francisco 49ers, Cleveland Browns, and, of course, Casa Piano Winery. None other than our good friend Carmen Policy.
Carmen Policy is in Napa Valley, and he does own and operate, along with his family, Casa Piano Winery. And as Paul mentioned, prior to that, he was the president of the 49ers and of the Cleveland Browns, so he will have a take on football, on wine, and a lot more. Who else?
And, of course, our good buddy Steve, the movie guy, Steve Evans.
Steve Evans is going to be climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in about 2 weeks. He is on with us this Friday. He was on this weekend edition show. He's on next weekend edition show. And I believe after this coming Friday, he is going to be taken off and going to the Mount Kilimanjaro region of Africa and climbing the mountain, ladies and gentlemen. He has his own blog. We're going to have it on our website. There'll be a lot of talk about that, but he'll give you the movie report. By the way, I did go to a screening and saw Sanctum. Have you heard about that film?
I have not heard about that film, but it sounds like a good one.
Sanctum, they say, is based somewhat on a true story. It's about guys that explore caves. And apparently you should not explore caves if there's inclement weather out, rainstorms where the water level can fill up in the caves. I guess that could happen at any moment, but especially during a rainstorm. And boy, I'll tell you, I think this is a 3D film. I did not see the screening in 3D, so that leaves you a little bit to be desired, I believe. But the overall story kind of holds you on the edge of your seat. And it's quite depressing unless you like to watch people kick it.
Talk about kicking it, Mike. I can't tell you all the people.
Dying kicking it that way. Yeah, it's terrible, yes.
Well, not half as bad as that, but people have been talking about that excellent critique or review, that travel advisory that you gave for Barbados. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that program is still available on the CRN website on our archive portion of the What's Cooking blog, but at crntalk.com. But your menu review of the beans and rice. Again, quite popular.
Is that the show we did this week, or
that was this week?
Show, because I did a whole live broadcast. I was in Barbados last week.
I know your return. Upon your return, you did a very substantial review of a meal that you had involving beans and rice and some levitation effect that occurred, I guess, later that evening.
Well, anytime you have beans, of course, there can be some type of
it could be a levitating
reaction.
experience.
Yeah, but this is one of the delicacies of the Barbadian culture is the rice and beans, but it's actually those lentils. You know, those you can buy them at any store in the package where they look like little split peas. They kind of swell up in the water and swell up elsewhere. Quite a packing experience, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have more straight ahead weekend edition of the What's Cooking program.
Located just 30 minutes from Los Angeles, Malibu Wine